So I wanted to do a quick assessment video of my hike from last weekend. Just to touch base real quick. It was last weekend I went for my hike on the Memorial Valley Rail Trail. Went from St. Johnsbury to, the goal was actually Hyde Park, but along my route I discovered that I would probably make it to about Hardwick. I figured my end statement was approximate 50K, and that would be the same distance that I'll be doing the Spartan Ultra, 50K. So calculation, 31 miles. St. Johnsbury was the start point at 0 and went 31 miles to Hardwick. So let's start off with my gear. I did a preparation video the day before my hike. I already posted that. You can go back and look at it. So food, water, commo. That was the three things I wanted to bring out with me to do the 50K to sustain myself for self-sustainment. So touch base with food. I made and brought 8 gel packs with me. Basic frozen berries, honey, salt. That I seen went very well. I also made 2 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Normally I don't really eat bread, but I sucked it up and had to eat something for that day that was kind of sustainable that I can bring out with me. And 2 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches seemed to actually work for me. The gel pouches, I had, like I said, 8 gel pouches, and 2 of those were mixed with potassium, magnesium supplements, along with the sodium. So I had electrolytes in me. Approximately every hour, I would take a gel pack. And that seemed to really help. About 1 o'clock or so, I started with the peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. About 2 o'clock, I took the first magnesium, potassium supplement pouch. I didn't cramp up at all, okay? My energy levels, spot on. I didn't really zonk out like I thought I was going to by being completely depleted. So as far as food-wise, I think I did a good job on that. Did notice that the gel packs themselves, you couldn't really get everything out, so I kept having to add water into the gel pack to get the actual gel supplement out. No big deal, it's fine. So yeah, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, just basic peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Got the jelly for a little bit of sugar boost, peanut butter for the protein, and the bread for the carbs. Definitely helped. Let's see, what else? Water, I took approximately 5 quarts of water. 2 canteens, 1 quart each. Nalgene, approximately 1 quart, and then 2 quart Camelback. So 5 quarts altogether. That worked for the 50K, okay? Once I got to the end statement of the 31-mile mark, I still had a little bit of water left over to get myself out to the trailhead, which was still a couple more miles. So hydration-wise, I definitely think that worked for self-sustainment. As far as the ultra race is concerned, for 5 quarts of water, carrying it up the mountain, I don't need to bring that much, because that's just more weight added. So if I'm being self-sustained, the 5 quarts for about 50K works. But to reduce the weight for the actual race, I'm only going to carry the Camelback, because they will have water refill stations throughout the course. And I think just the Camelback will work, because I did that last year, And my assessment from last year's race with the Camelback is I just got to drink more water because I kept worrying about I was going to run out. But I think that'll be worked out in itself. So Camo. So being out on that, being self-sustained, it took about 11 hours and 39 minutes. My cell phone itself, it's an older cell phone, doesn't really get great service. So for emergency purposes and whatnot, when I got to the end of the race, I could not contact my wife to come get me. We made a prearranged pickup area, but she was waiting for me to call her to get me out. So I had to walk an extra 2-3 miles in town from where the trailhead was to actually get service to call her. So that added, I did my trailhead to the 32-mile point. That was from the trailhead, so I actually went an extra mile from what I needed to. That was 11 hours and 39 minutes. Got to the trailhead, had no cell phone service, so I waited around for about an hour and a half after everything was done, hoping that we communicated properly, but the communication failed. So, I mean, I'm kind of going on a rant, but if you're going out and you're practicing your own 50K, 21K, whatever, make sure you have good service connection or have a plan in place for emergency purposes. Who, what, when, where, how, and why. Where I'm starting, where I'm going to, where the checkpoints should be for certain times. And I knew along the route I can get to certain checkpoints, certain trailheads. I texted my wife, like, hey, this is the time, this is what I reached, so they know if an emergency, they can start looking at that point because I'd reached that point and now I'm going over there. So the area of search would be much smaller if something were to happen. As it was, I got to the end trailhead at 32 miles. They didn't have any cell phone service, waited around forever, past the point of pickup time. And my wife actually heard helicopters flying over our house, thought it was an emergency helicopter come to rescue me because she thought I had got hurt. And she was about to call the fire services to come find me, and she was no sooner about to pick up the phone and do that when I finally reached someplace with cell phone service to call her. It's not a drastic, real-world, emergency that had happened, but it definitely would have turned into something. So communications, pick-up and drop-off point, check times, everything like that. Now, as it was, the next day, my wife went to the same trailhead to go bike in, and she had cell phone service. So, know your area that you're going to be in, and understand whether or not you're going to have communication with the outside world. Okay? Emergency purposes. I know I'm going on a rant, but, again, I actually went and, because my phone is about 6 years old, I went and updated my phone so I can have service the next time I go do this, because I'm not done doing this. I'm going to keep doing it. Also, I'm going to put Life 360 on my phone because the rest of my family has that, and I've been kind of not wanting to do that because I don't want people tracking me, but might be a good idea. Definitely put Life 360 so somebody knows kind of where you're at. So if something happens, they know where to start the search. Okay? Because the faster emergency service can get to you, the more likelihood that you'll survive. But anyway, emergency preparedness. Be prepared for everything. So, food, water, combo, touched on that. As far as physical, The only things, aches and pains I really felt were in my hips and in my legs. I got to the 5-hour mark, and I decided at that point I wasn't going to be jogging anymore. Because what I started off with, and it's in my longer video, started off with a 30-30 split. Just because that's what I decided to do. Started off with a 30-minute walk to warm up the body, and then a 20 to 30 minute jog, light jog, just to kind of make up pace and time, more like a ruck run, okay, or an airborne shuffle. It wasn't anything fucking strenuous, but it was also to kind of work different muscle groups in the legs and everything else. But I got to the 5-hour mark, and I was pretty much done, set. So from there, it was a struggle just to continue to put one foot in front of the other. I had to stop several times, stretch out, try to relieve the stress in my hips and pelvic girdle area. And a lot of that due as well is the week prior, I did a heavy set load for my weights. Going into rest and recovery before races, you don't really exactly want to go into heavy loads and everything else into your race. It's just going to put more wear and tear and stress on your body. And to be honest, Friday I did rest a little bit, but really you want 1 to 2 weeks before your main event of rest and recovery and light work. I didn't do that. I know. That's probably part of why my body and my legs and hips kind of crapped out halfway through. But I was able to continue to go. As far as my feet were actually pretty decent. I did get a blister on each foot. I knew I was going to after a 50K. That was just kind of going to happen. But this past week, I have not done a heavy workout set. I did cardio. I did my bike, my stationary bike, for cardio. And by Thursday, I was back out on the trail doing light jogs. Nothing big, nothing heavy, but I allowed myself to get back into recovery so I can get back into the exercise mode. As far as exercising and stretching, one, I've got to work more on my stretching. So I just recently changed jobs, and I'm kind of work into getting everything kind of organized with work and exercise, stretching, and preparation. So I know I got to work more on that part. Let's see. Exercise stuff. I recently came across some videos about being an athletic individual and doing a lot more rucking and stuff like that. Like, I focused my previous exercises into more of a strength conditioning and bodybuilding type exercises. Because, you know, last 20 years, I did what I guess bodybuilders would do as far as weightlifting, because they're trying to form their body in a certain way, and listening to strongmen and what they're exercising, and it's two completely different worlds from what I'm doing. Like, I'm trying to be more of an endurance, athletic, long distance hiking, rucking type thing, especially with the Spartan races and going into the obstacles. You got a lot of climbs, monkey bars, rope climbs, stuff like that. So I have to reassess my exercises, and I don't want to focus on bodybuilding or strength conditioning for like strongman type stuff where I'm lifting god awful amount of weight. And that's what I've been doing in the past. So this past week, I have an entire whiteboard that I track everything on. And I took my whiteboard, erased everything on it, and I'm starting from scratch. And I'll This past week, it seems to be okay, but a lot of it is more movement-based stuff. A lot of like deadlifts, squats, overhead presses. I'm still doing the pull-ups and overhead presses on Wednesdays. Those are still the exact same. But I think I'll go inside and show you guys the actual whiteboard that I'm keeping track of, and that's what I'm gonna try to focus on as far as my weightlifting type exercises. So what it's gonna look like from here on out until I reassess again. First thing in the morning, stretch, hydrate, food, go to work, come back. I'm going to try to stretch before I exercise again in the afternoons. So it's going to be a stretching / yoga. Cardio, be it either jog, sprint, stationary bike, or ruck. And then after that, 30 to 45 minutes of weight exercises for endurance type strength. So I think I can see this is July. It's actually July 4th. Happy birthday, America. And I have 2.5 months to go to prep for this. I think I'm not quite there yet to tackle the mountain, because again, I did do the Mobile Rail Trail, but a lot of that was flat, not even close to being anything like the mountain. There were some rolling hills, especially going from St. Johnsbury to Danville. It was a gradual climb up, but it wasn't the grade like it is going to be in Killington. That's going to be a slugfest. Can I do it? Yeah, I think I can do it, because I'm not going to give up doing it. I'm going to die trying. That's how I am. I'm too stubborn. But I have a long ways to go to actually be able to go complete that 50K in Killington and do all the obstacles. So stretching, doing a lot more of the hip, trying to get open the hips, get the hip flexors going. Yeah, so I'm going to show you my new schedule that I have on my whiteboard, and hopefully you guys can actually read it this time. I completely erased everything, started over from scratch, and we're going to go from there. Oh, and also, it's the summertime, so I started on my obstacle course again. Got monkey bars, the rope climb, and the spirit throw that I made a couple years ago. I'm also going to be doing a lot more of the carries with my wheel drum, which it's raining. Time to go inside because this camera isn't exactly waterproof. So let's go. Try the mic. So I know it's a little bit difficult to actually see stuff. Like I was saying earlier, I completely got rid of my old whiteboard. Not that you guys could have seen that last time too, because it was still hard to read. But so that Monday through Friday, and I have a specific kind of exercise or muscle group that I'm going to be exercising that I think will help me in the hike for Killington, the 50K. So Mondays, I got the primaries for bench, a calf exercise, and front abs. So I'm doing upper body, lower body, and the core. That aspect hasn't changed. I'm just kind of focusing on something a little bit different. So Tuesdays, I got shrugs or upright rows, squats, and then the side ab. Wednesdays, I have pretty much this. It's the same. So what I found on, watching some people on YouTube, took kind of their program and implementing it into what I'm doing. Wednesdays are the same. So pull-ups, overhead press, and for specific cardio, I'm doing the OCR, my obstacle course race stuff. The monkey bars, rope climb, and the carries for my warm-ups. Then Thursdays, bent over rows, front ab, hamstring, and notice Wednesdays there's no core work on there. Wednesdays are kind of a lighter day because I've definitely found that going Monday and Tuesday, giving 110% on that. Wednesdays, I kind of give a little bit of a rest, so I don't have cardio or abs on Wednesdays. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, I still have cardio and I have core work. Anyway, Thursdays, bent over rows, front abs, and hamstrings. So I recently started with my previous exercises doing hamstring exercises with my bench, and definitely feel that helping quite a bit with the leg work. Fridays, which today's Saturday, but I missed yesterday's workout because we had a lot of work going on with family events and stuff. So today is what I'm actually going to be doing. I'm focusing on deadlifts, side abs, and calf. And then Saturday and Sunday, rest, recoup, 3 hours, rest, refit, recovery. Which rest and recovery are the same thing. Anyway, rest, recover, Saturdays, Sundays. If I can fit it in, Saturdays, usually do a longer hike, some sort of cardio, something like that. We'll see how things go as the summer goes along. But Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, I start off the exercises with cardio, either jog, stationary bike, ruck march. Usually it's not very long, it's just to kind of get my body warmed up and going. So it's about 2 mile loop or 20-30 minutes on a stationary bike. Wednesdays, the warm-up will be the obstacle course race. That would be the spear throw, monkey bars, rope climb, and a carry. I'm also going to try to integrate some sort of sprint type workout to really get the body used to high endurance type cardio with the higher heart elevation. So I'm just thinking, like last year when I started the 21K, the first thing is a straight up hike, and I gave it 110% getting up that, and it took me the entire race to get my heart rate lowered back down into a controllable situation, which was not good. You know, right out the gate, I just gave it 110%, and it really backfired on me. So 2 things with that is, 1, I have to calm down and actually pace myself. 2, I need to work on my heart rate and my oxygen consumption and oxygen control during the race, because that definitely hurt me last year. And I'm now doubling the miles that I'll be doing, so we'll see. We shall see. Just one big guesswork. I can do all this, and down the road, it's not even going to matter. I might have to reschedule or come up with a whole new idea, reinvent the wheel again, but either way, I'm going to get it done.